So yeah, that actually did happen. Like I said, with powers in the Soviet Union, and so yeah, the ramifications would be terrible.
Yeah.
Again.
Now, the actual procedure, if I was to intercept a message about a shoot down, first of all, I could hear the coordinates being read to the missile sites for the shoot down. I could literally, in some cases, not always, I could hear the missiles actually launching. Now, what my job was basically, I'd like to say I was playing a computer game, except there was no computer. They would fire a missile, and I would move him. They'd fire a missile, I'd move him. They'd fire a missile, I'd move him. I played the world's first live video game. And if I lost my game, I lost that U-2 and pilot.
How much time did you have from launch till it would possibly be at his altitude?
Oh, it would probably be a minute or less. So basically, if I heard the shoot down coordinates being read, I would make him aware of it. And then I would give him evasive action as soon as the missile was fired. And again, remember, these were altitude detonating weapons. All I had to do was drop him 5,000, tell him to go up 5,000. He didn't necessarily have to veer that far off course, off the figure eight, but his altitude was the key factor. And I didn't make those decisions. The pilot made those decisions, but I would make him aware of it.
So I heard from a pilot that you would actually speed up and go up because
Yes,
the rockets wouldn't be able to make the altitude that the
Well, yeah,
U-2s
I
were.
mean, that's...
But that was 1960s pilot, so you're 70.
Right.
What year?
72.
So they might be more sophisticated in 72.
Right, yeah. But one of the interesting adjuncts to the job was myself and the 2 or 3 other operators got to do a temporary duty assignment for 3 days at the base where all the U-2 and SR-71s took off. It was another base in Thailand. And we went there for 3 days. The reason that we went there was twofold. One of them was fun. The other one was informative. They wanted us to participate in a U-2 recovery. Now, most people aren't aware of this.
Is this a real recovery or
Correct. Yeah, because all their landings are recoveries. People aren't aware of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
First of all, as with most planes, they're wet wing, the fuel's in the wings. But of course, the U-2 and SR-71 had enormous wings. But what made it difficult to land was a couple of factors. First of all, there isn't always equal fuel distribution from the 2 wings. So one side of the plane actually would be heavier than the other. The second is all the wheels for U-2 and SR-71 are straight down the belly of the plane. There is nothing such as a tripod type landing gear. The reason that's done, of course, is to reduce friction and increase speed. But it presented a problem when landing, because what would happen is, as I said, the wings were unequally weighted. And once the plane slowed down in its rollout, the plane would necessarily tip over on the heavier wing.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, you'd be destroying the aircraft.
Right.
So, we got to participate in a U-2 recovery. How they landed back then, how things are done now, what the landing gear is like. 2 pickup trucks at the approach end of the runway. The planes used to do a falling leaf approach, not a normal approach. A normal plane goes in square, they run a square pattern. The U-2, to cut down speed, would do what was called a falling leaf approach. In other words, they would circle down like this to burn off speed. And of course, the pilot had to be able to time out where that last turn was, because remember, if you don't know that much about aeronautics, once you reach a minimum critical speed, the plane will stall, which means it'll go nose first into the ground. So it required quite a bit of skill,
A lot of skill.
to land it. But it also needed a ground assist. 2 pickups at the end of the runway start speeding down the runway as the U-2 came out of its last turn. It goes straight down the runway. The 2 pickups run alongside. An airman is in the back of each pickup, strapped in, and his job, wearing gloves, grabbed the wing of the plane.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That was a blast. I loved it. I mean, I got to actually do that. And you have to wear gloves
Oh, yeah.
because...
The heat.
No, not the heat, the cold.
Cool.
You'd get instant frostbite
Huh.
by grabbing that wing because it was still frozen over.
It was still frozen from the high altitude
Correct.
that the plane was,
Right.
even though it went through with all
Right.
that heat and then all that resistance.
Right.
Unreal.
Yeah. And the other, I said there were
Let's stop right there.